Alright, on my way to the real world, and I have some new insights for myself. Thank you to everyone involved. So, a lot of you know I've been messing with things that I shouldn't be messing with yet, but my curiosity and also my beliefs of, you know, nothing appears unless you're ready for it, which I still kind of believe, but maybe I also need to experience these couple of weeks of craziness to refocus, because, and just, yeah, take a deliberately slower step instead of trying to rush into everything that I don't know about the universe, because when you take on too much, too many things can happen at once that can screw with your head. And I've got real life problems right now, and I shouldn't be messing with things that, you know, while I'm not in a good place myself, I shouldn't be experimenting with advanced stuff. So I'm stopping that for the moment to have a re-look at my life, and I have identified a theme in my life. I mean, I should have recognized it a lot sooner, because all my videos are about this. All my life past events are about this, and that is exploring this theme of love. So I put myself in these situations where like there's a lot of confusion. So, I'm just going to state the confusion here. I haven't figured it out yet. So pretty much, I've always wanted to be free to be me. If you're not sick of hearing me say that, then you haven't been watching many videos, because I say it nearly every time. Free to be me, loving everybody, accepting everybody for who they are, wanting a more loving place, wanting a more kind environment, and being that, and experimenting with being that, and being blissful, and really getting the gifts back from the universe and everybody in it, and all the experiences from doing that. Like, that has been far beyond what I could have believed before, as basic as it is. But the thing that trips me up is men. And I didn't realize it, because I'm thinking everybody is a friend, and I'm putting it in my head of everyone's a friend and I love them as a friend, but I'm loving them more than a friend, but I'm loving everybody more than a friend. And when I have close connections with people that bring me way more joy, like show me a fun that I haven't had in a long time, or allow me to just really let go of the serious Penny, you know, just experience the fun Penny, and the aspects of me that I don't explore a lot because of my past, you know, hating men, having, you know, my soulmate, my true love betray me, and then going through that victim mode, and then going through forgiveness, and now we're friends. And I thought that, and especially because I was aware that that was an issue for me, that I've done a lot of work on that, and I'm wondering whether or not this is a lifelong theme, because July I got involved with a guy, and that was the first one since that long-term partner, which was, you know, which ended years ago. But, you know, through my journey of healing myself, I was only focusing on, you know, healing myself and healing my mind, and, you know, and going through all the forgiveness and stuff like that. And then I noticed that I had expectations on him, and he had expectations on me, and we're trying to, and at least, thank goodness, he was conscious. So we were both able to work through so many issues that we had with the opposite sex, with relationships, with friendships, with love, with allowing people to be who they are, and the expectations we put on others, and the grief that we feel when the other person does not respond the way that we want them to respond. So we worked through so much consciously, which was absolutely the best kind of relationship I've ever had as a conscious being, instead of a, you know, life happens to me being. That was just incredible for me. And then we got to a stage where I can't actually remember. I actually honestly cannot remember. Maybe I need to look it up again, because maybe it will help me for where I am now. But he sort of closed off from me, and that timing though, I was so still on a high from noticing that my entire world changed in front of my eyes. Everybody at work was happier and more loving. Instead of hating work, I was looking forward to it, because I was there to help people and share my high vibrations with people, and I just had a completely different perspective. And the way that I would explain it now is that I was actually, you know, experiencing the same place via a different dimension. I had raised my frequency to the point where I just wasn't experiencing it the same way as everybody else was, and it was just a phenomenal high. I loved it, and I wasn't like over the last couple of years, while I've been experimenting and with different tools and ideas and perceptions and, you know, spiritual practices and things like that. There has been times when I've been completely highs, like big highs and lows, but completely off with the fairies. Like, I was so wherever I was that I wasn't in touch with anyone. So it still wasn't a connected experience. It was a joyful experience, but it still wasn't a connected experience, and it still gave me the lows when I, you know, it just, but this other stage, just at this particular stage in time when we had, me and July had worked out, you know, had grown so much and expanded so much, and we're also, you know, providing each other ideas and new insights and things like that as a better way of living life, and really experiencing the differences. It was actually really magical. And when I was going to work, I actually didn't feel like airy-fairy. I felt, and I didn't feel deeply grounded either, but I felt like I was, you know, exactly, this is perfect. This is perfection. This is absolutely fantastic. And then, yes, then we had Mum, when I asked Mum for dinner, and she sent a text back saying, you know, pretty much, we want you to leave. When I was asking her for dinner. That I wasn't prepared for, I wasn't expecting, and that did shatter something in my heart. And then it was sort of downhill, so I was like, well, okay, well, now I have to leave. And I finally got to a place where I'm really happy. I'm happy with my life. I still want to leave, but it wasn't like an urgent, you must leave now thing. I felt like I was welcome, and I felt like everything was going right, and work was good. And so there was that, and then the things that I was having problems with July, you know, him switching off, you know, not talking to me for days and things like that, and me trying to be okay with that, like, oh, well, that's who he is, blah, blah. And I'm thinking, well, you know what? I don't want that. I want someone who actually wants to, you know, is looking forward to communication with me. I don't want someone that's just going to, you know, be connected to me when, you know, and I was going through that. I was also feeling very guilty that because time was creeping up, that he was, you know, planning to come here. And I was like, oh, I'm looking at my body going, well, I haven't exercised in a long time, and I'm not 100% right on my diet anymore. You know, I sort of switched, you know, I started to eat meat again, and I was anti all that before, and I was starting to have like my own anxieties about my own imperfections looking at me through his eyes. And then I manifested this connection. Let's call him October. And October was what July wasn't. So Mr. October, you know, was giving me the time of day, was showing me affection, was eating whatever he wanted, was truthful coming out of it. Like there was no, like at that time there was no. He was just saying how he felt about everything. There was no filters, and I was like, whoa! I don't have to. There's no guessing here. This is so easy. And I thought that, wow, because I'm going through all this spiritual stuff with my other friend, July, and other people, and myself, I'm thinking, wow, you know, I manifested this new friend into my life to be able to have, you know, bring a bit of fun in my life, have deep care, compassion and all that kind of stuff. Doesn't want a relationship, neither did I. So there was that freedom that we knew that it wasn't going to get weird. So I thought free to love him, and as a friend, but you know, free to love him and not it get awkward and stuff like that. But then it did start getting awkward because new friend betrayed me, and my high and blissful love everybody person didn't know what to do about that. So my new high and blissful person first delved down the realms of forgiveness. So okay, he's betrayed me, but he's still a nice guy, you know. I'm sure, you know, it's just boys will be boys kind of thing. And started to do my little practices of accepting somebody for who they are without working on my own little hurts and pains about that. So I'm continuing with this friendship and from a place of acceptance and trying to, you know, do that. Now the other thing about this is that the one thing I couldn't do with him was be myself, which is be this, you know, I always look deeper into things and blah blah blah. As it got a little bit weirder, as people, sorry, dangerous maneuver here, as people don't understand my love and things like that, and you know, I never, because I don't explain my spiritual side to anyone, it can get a little confusing, so they've got to put their little barriers up. I've made a video about this one, and then you're like, well, what? Your ego, my ego, wants to say, wait a second, you've got it all wrong. Don't treat me like that. Don't treat me like I'm less than. I'm trying to help you here, you know. I am loving your soul. It's deeper than that. Don't try and put it across that I'm anything less than that, and treat me like I'm some kind of thing that is like a desperado or needing you or something like that. And then in our spiritual side, on the you know, outside of this, because we didn't catch up all the time, we just caught up every few weeks or so. And so in my free time, I'm back into my spiritual side, seeing how far down the rabbit hole I can go, seeing, you know, playing with reality and playing with the universe, and also listening to so many different things that go, okay, well, what does that mean to my life, and how does that, you know, apply to my life, and how could that be true of my life? And I got down deep into the multidimensional entity stuff, and then I started seeing, oh my God, this guy has that, and I started to believe in evil. Instead of switching off the spiritual shit for a little bit and going into myself and realizing, wait a second, this is a pattern in my life. When I feel betrayed, or when I feel like my love isn't being accepted, when I feel like less than, this is that I'm the one that I need to work on here. And but instead, no, I'm right into my spirituality stuff, and I'm right into this conspiracy stuff, and I'm right into this multidimensional stuff. And then I started looking at dark entities and evil and things like that, and friends were validating that they exist, and I'm like, oh, dark entities don't exist, blah, blah, blah. But then I'm like, well, what if I'm wrong? And what if that's the reason why he's like this? Obviously, it's deeper than what I could ever go to on video, because people might recognize who I'm talking about. So I don't want to give off too much, just because who knows who's watching your video, you know? This is real lives, real people that we're talking about here. But so I started believing that, and I was going to, interestingly, going to engage the help of a friend who, a mutual friend, to help with the problem. And thankfully we didn't get to talk about it, but interestingly they end up being friends now. So my work is done and his has taken over without me even doing anything. Yeah, so I have been really messing myself up spiritually. I'm going to cut off all this, all the darkness and negativity and any of that kind of, and also all the playing with the universe stuff, until I get my own self right as far as men. Because the big problem here is that as much work as I think that I've done throughout my life on forgiveness and acceptance and loving men again, you know, loving people, all humans again, as much work as I've done on that, there's still stuff there. And the reason I can recognize it is, one, someone pointed it out to me that I've still got this victim vibe bleeding through, and I'm like, shit, really? I've still got the victim vibe? I mean, yes, I know over the last 2 weeks I have, because the last 2 weeks I've actually been questioning all my beliefs. And the reason I've been questioning all my beliefs, this is the point I came to last night, is because I wanted this guy to accept me for who I am. So I'm wanting to change my beliefs so that society can accept me, so that he can accept me, so that I'm not an outsider, so I'm not outcast, so that I'm one of them, so that I'm part of this community, I'm part of this world, that we are all connected. And I really do get confused with how to do that, like how to be myself, and you know, being a loving being and wanting the world to be, you know, one big community, and not, you know, like hippie stuff, but I just want the world to be kinder, you know, not be so separated and nasty. How to do that whilst interacting with people who are just not there yet. And since most of the people that I am surrounded with on a day-to-day basis are not thinking that way, and I've got these heart issues where I want the best for the world, and I want the best for people, and I want the best for others, and I really, you know, everyone I meet, I really want the best for them, and I want to inspire them, and I want them to help them, and I want them to feel what it's like when you raise your vibes to experience this different reality. And wow, you know, experiencing their world over the last couple of weeks, by the way, that's a horrible place to live. You'll definitely want to do some work on that. And where I'm at today is so much better, because I'm actually aware of, you know, what the problem is, and was working on myself before I came to work to raise my vibes. Now the work might actually lower my vibes again, so I might end up experiencing that, you know, lower dimension again. But I just want to say, like, if you're feeling a really, you know, experiencing a really shit life right now, there is a way to experience the same life on a higher dimension. And but rather than, I mean, I really will try and keep the dimensions out of it, and use real life practical ways of doing it, so that I don't lose a lot of people that I want to help, because really the last couple of weeks have been absolutely horrible, and I haven't had an understanding of why, because I didn't actually include him in my reasoning, in my experience, because I'm like, well, we're friends, and yeah, that sucks, but you know, I was into this all this other stuff. Obviously there was something there, because I could feel like it was affecting me, but I was like, but I'm aware enough to know that not to let it affect me. But yeah, there's something that I'm going to have to work on there. I don't know what yet. I will let you know when I know, because obviously, you know, that is my theme for this life in some way. I just hope it's not a lifelong for them. I hope, I hope being aware that, you know, July and September were together I don't know, yeah, like that, being aware that these two men have been the instigators for me to actually have this realization that I still have issues to work through. As much as I want to be finished and done and I know that it's not an overnight thing. It's like it unravels as you live your life and as they come into your life and as you make these awarenesses and stuff like that, and you're like, okay, I have this issue with being accepted for who I am. I have this issue with being betrayed, and I have this issue with loving too much where it makes other people uncomfortable, and I have this issue with being free to be me. And these things are something that I need to, you know, come to some kind of focused, organized plan on how I'm going to go about this. Like actually being aware that these are issues for me, and realizing there is no place here that I really can be free to be me. There's certain people that I can go a little bit of, you know, positive encouragement, but as far as playing with the universe and stuff like that, no. So I've got to realize that, you know, I am, as far as I am, like I am this being that can have all these crazy, weird, wonderful and awful experiences, and I am also this human having these normal human everyday, you know, issues, and those things also need my attention. I can't just live in my little spiritual fantasy land. I have to come back to the real life, and my soul needs to learn. My soul is here to learn all these other aspects of my soul, not just the cool stuff, but also the muggy stuff, the muddy stuff. Yeah. I'm at work. It's a 25-minute video. It will hopefully be edited down. I don't remember actually not talking though, so I don't know how I'm going to edit it down. But that is my revelation at the moment. I just don't know, and it's much longer than that. I've been taking lots of notes, writing, and I have been writing a lot of pages and recording a lot, which I haven't uploaded as I'm unraveling all this. So you've got the sort of summary version, even though it's a long video, you've got the summary version of, you know, all these different aspects that have made me come to this realization, but I'm still not there yet. I'm so confused about where to go next. I just know that I need to cut off my playing with the universe and focus on being just mindful for the now of what is right in front of me now that I need to deal with. Yeah. Bye.